To understand the transaction flow for bank and tax services, set up bank services, perform a bank reconciliation, and set up tax services. Bank and tax services are part of the system manager and reside in common services. However, unlike the other parts of the system manager that are automatically activated, bank and tax services are activated separately and are thus treated as separate modules. Bank and tax services are required for accounts receivable and accounts payable and must be activated before these modules can be activated. Let's see how bank and tax services fits into the Sage ACPAC solution. It is important to understand the transaction flow from the subledgers and on to the general ledger. Bank Services is a central repository for all bank-related transactions. With this module, you define bank accounts for transaction entry and reconcile bank accounts effectively and efficiently. Tax Services defines the various taxes that can be paid out on purchases and collected on sales. It tracks transactions entered with tax amounts and can produce a detailed report for tax remitting. While AR and AP send transaction information directly to the general ledger, notice at the left that transactions also flow to Bank Services. Bank Services establishes the bank accounts, and when transactions are entered in AR and AP that affect the bank account, such as customer receipts or cash disbursements, this information is sent to Bank Services for reconciliation. During the reconciliation process, bank charges and other transactions are entered in Bank Services, and these transactions also flow into the general ledger as any other subledger. What is important to note here for Bank Services is that there is no transaction flow from the general ledger back to Bank Services. Many customers coming from older systems are accustomed to entering journal entries and reconciling bank accounts in the general ledger. However, if this is done in Sage ACPAC, the numbers reflected in Bank Services will not balance to the GL. Bank Services must therefore be treated as a full subledger that receives transactions from AR and AP and posts additional transactions to the GL. For Tax Services, there is no transaction entry involved. Tax Services is merely a setup module that defines the taxes that are entered in AR and AP during transaction entry. Additionally, Tax Services is used to produce tax tracking reports to help with remittances. Transactions that are entered with specific taxes appear on the tax tracking report if the tax is defined to be tracked. Please proceed to Bank Services.